Welcome to English. Anyway, where we learn English, no pressure, no perfection. Have you ever walked into a restaurant in a new country and felt like really scared?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We have all felt that.
You sit down at the table, the
Right.
restaurant is, very loud, people are talking everywhere, and you look at a menu with like 5 big pages of English words. Then the waiter walks up to your table.
And your heart just beats so fast.
Yes, you completely forget how to speak English. I mean, you just point your finger at a picture on the menu and you pray they bring you the right food. But today, we are going to end the restaurant panic forever.
Yes, we are. You worry about making a huge mistake or you worry the waiter will not understand your accent. But ordering food in English does not have to be a scary experience. In fact, when you understand how it works, it becomes very easy and actually, well, very fun.
Exactly. Today, we are giving you the tools to order food anywhere in the world confidently. But before we start, I want to remind you about our rule for this show.
Oh, right. The pacing.
Yes, we will take our time today. We will speak at a normal, steady, and relaxed pace. We want you to hear every single word clearly, so just relax, listen, and let the English come to you.
That is perfect. So let us begin with the biggest mistake people make. When people learn English, they think ordering food is just pointing at a picture. Or they think it is, saying one big long sentence and looking away.
Yeah, I used to do that.
But it is not. Ordering food is a back and forth conversation. It is just a small chat. You speak, the waiter speaks, and you speak again.
When I first traveled, I thought ordering was just one big speech. I tried to memorize everything before the waiter came.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I would practice in my head. I would think, I want the chicken with rice and a water and no tomatoes, please. And then,
Let me guess. The waiter asked a question.
yes, the waiter asked me a simple question and my brain completely stopped working.
Yeah, that is the exact reason people panic. You try to give them the whole meal at one time. But a restaurant does not work like that. Think of a restaurant kitchen like a factory. Ordering food is like building a car on an assembly line. An assembly line is a factory system where you build things step by step.
Oh, I see. Step by step.
Yes, the waiter needs your information in a specific order. If you give them the information out of order, the assembly line breaks.
That is a great way to picture it. They need the big frame of the car first, then they add the wheels, and then they add the paint color.
Exactly.
So, what are the actual steps on this restaurant assembly line? How does the conversation flow?
Well, there are 4 basic steps. First, they start the line. They ask if you are ready. The waiter will come to the table and say, "Are you ready to order?"
They just want to know if you have closed your menu
Right.
and made a choice.
Yes, exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. So if they ask if I am ready, my natural instinct is to just answer with the big food I want. I usually say, yes, I want the chicken. Is that step 2?
Yes, you got it. Step 2 is giving them the frame of the car. You tell them your main dish. The main dish is the biggest, most important food you want to eat. You say the steak, the chicken, or the fish.
Okay, so I told them the main dish. What happens next?
The waiter will ask you extra questions. They might ask how you want the food cooked. Or they might ask what small foods you want with it, or what you want to drink. Step 4 is confirming the order. The waiter repeats everything back to you. They do this so the kitchen cooks exactly what you asked for. Well, let's see what this actually sounds like in the real world.
Yes, let's do a role play. We will call this conversation 1. In this conversation, we are going to order a nice steak dinner at a sit-down restaurant.
I will be the restaurant waiter. You will be the hungry customer.
Perfect. Listeners, pay attention to the flow. Notice how the waiter asks questions and I give short, clear answers. Here we go.
Are you ready to order?
Yes, I'd like the steak.
How would you like it cooked?
Medium rare, please.
Would you like fries or salad on the side?
Salad.
And what sauce would you like? We have pepper sauce or mushroom sauce.
Mushroom sauce, please.
Okay. Anything else?
Can I have it without onions?
Sure, no onions.
Thanks.
And we are done.
Oh.
That was a great example of a back and forth conversation.
Thanks. Let's break this conversation down line by line. I want to look closely at the special vocabulary.
Sure.
First, I ordered the steak. Then you asked a very specific question about the fire and the heat. You asked, how would you like it cooked?
Yes. This is a very important phrase. Whenever you order steak or a beef burger, the staff will always ask you this.
Always.
Always. They need to know how much heat the chef should put on the meat.
I have a funny question about this. If I tell the waiter, well done, does that mean I am telling the chef they did a good job? Like, well done, chef. You are a great cook.
That is a very funny mistake.
I mean, it sounds like a compliment.
It does. Many learners think that.
Yeah.
But no, well done has nothing to do with the chef's skill. It is not a compliment for a person. When we talk about meat, well done refers to the cooking process. It means the meat stayed on the hot fire for a very long time.
Oh, I see. It is about time on the fire. So what do the different words mean?
Let's explain them simply. Rare means a very short time on the fire. The meat is still very red and soft inside.
Okay, rare is red.
Right. Medium means more time on the fire. It is warm and pink in the middle.
Medium is pink.
And well done means a lot of time on the fire. There is no pink color left at all. The meat is completely brown all the way through.
Okay, that makes perfect sense now. You choose the color and the time on the fire.
Yeah.
Now let's look at the next part of our role play. You asked me, would you like fries or salad on the side? I know what fries and salad are, but what does on the side mean?
On the side is a very common expression.
Hmm?
Your steak is the main dish. The side dish is the smaller food that comes with your main food.
So the fries, the salad, or the rice are the side dishes.
Right. When we say on the side, we mean it comes with the meal sitting next to the main food on the exact same plate. It is on the side of the steak.
That is perfect for a nice, slow steak dinner. But what about a fast food restaurant? The psychology changes when we just want a quick burger for lunch, right? The whole assembly line moves much faster.
It does change. Fast food restaurants sell food in big groups to make the line move faster. Because the system is different, the vocabulary is different too.
That makes sense.
It is very important to know both styles of eating.
Okay, let's do conversation 2. This time, I will be the fast food worker behind the counter, and you will be the hungry customer. Let's see how the words change.
Okay, I am ready. I am very hungry for a big lunch.
Hi, what can I get for you?
I'd like 1 chicken combo and 1 burger.
For the combo, would you like fries or salad?
Fries.
And what drink would you like?
Cola, please.
Would you like to make the burger a combo too?
No, just the burger's fine.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's all.
All right, let's break this fast food conversation down. Right at the start, you used a special word. You said, I like 1 chicken combo.
Yes. The words combo and meal are essential for fast food. Combo is a short word for combination. It means putting many things together. A combo is a main food, a side dish, and a drink, all sold together for one single price.
Oh, it makes ordering so much faster. I do not have to ask for a chicken sandwich and then ask for fries and then ask for a drink. That takes too much time.
Exactly.
I just say the combo and the computer does all the work.
Exactly. It is faster and usually cheaper. But here's where it gets really interesting. There's a big cultural difference with this word depending on where you travel.
Really? Tell me more about that.
Well, if you travel to the United States or Canada and you look at the menu board above the counter, everyone uses the word combo or meal.
Okay.
You will hear people say, make it a combo, or I will take the chicken meal.
Okay, so North America uses combo. What about other places?
If you fly to the United Kingdom, or if you visit many English-speaking places in Asia, they almost never use the word combo.
Wait, really? What do they say?
They use the word set or set meal.
So if I am in London and the fast food worker asks, would you like the set meal? I do not need to feel confused. It is the exact same thing as a combo.
Yes, they are exactly the same. A combo in America and a set meal in Asia both mean a main dish, a side, and a drink.
I love learning those small travel differences. Now let's look at what happened next in our role play. I tried to sell you more food.
You did?
I asked, would you like to make the burger a combo too? I wanted you to spend more money.
Yes, restaurant workers will always ask this. It is their job to upsell. They want you to buy the bigger, more expensive option. They want to sell more fries and more drinks.
But you were not that hungry. You wanted to say no. I want to point out exactly how you answered me.
Okay.
You did not just say a fast, simple no. You said, no, just the burger is fine.
That is right. A short, cold no can sound a little angry or rude to the worker. You want to soften your answer. You want to keep the conversation warm and friendly.
Let's explain why that sentence works so well. Just the burger means only the burger, absolutely nothing else.
Yes.
And adding the words is fine at the end makes it sound very polite.
No, just the burger is fine. It tells the worker clearly what you want, but it shows respect.
Perfect. So we have learned how the restaurant assembly line works. We learned about combos and set meals. Now let's talk about the cheat codes.
Ah, yes. The magic phrases.
Exactly. Earlier, we called these magic phrases. These are the sentences that give you total power over any menu in the English-speaking world.
Yes. We call this customizing your food. Customizing means changing something so it fits exactly what you want. We are going to teach you 3 magic phrases. You can use these phrases anywhere.
Magic phrase number 1 uses the words instead of.
Instead of means you trade one item for a different item. You drop one thing and you take another thing in its place.
Let me give a real example. Let's say the menu says my chicken comes with French fries, but I want to be healthy today. I do not want fried food. I want a healthy salad. I look at the waiter and say, can I get a salad instead of fries?
That is a perfect example. You trade the fries for the salad. You can do this with anything. You can say, can I get rice instead of potatoes? Or can I get soup instead of salad?
It is a very powerful sentence.
It really is.
Magic phrase number 2 uses the word we learned during our steak dinner, the word without. The sentence is, can I have this without ingredient?
Right. We know this removes things you do not like.
Like onions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I have this without cheese? Can I have my water without ice? You get exactly what you want.
Okay, magic phrase number 3. This one is very important for me. Sometimes a restaurant puts so much dressing on a salad, the salad becomes completely wet and heavy. It tastes terrible. I hate soggy food.
Soggy food is the worst.
Yeah.
You want to control the sauce yourself. So you use the third magic phrase, can I have the sauce on the side?
We saw this with side dishes like fries.
Yes.
But here it means the wet sauce comes in a small separate cup. It sits next to the plate. It is not poured on top of your food.
Exactly. The kitchen puts the sauce in a tiny bowl. Then you can dip your food into the sauce. Or you can pour just a little bit on your salad. You have total control over how wet your food gets.
These 3 phrases are amazing, instead of without and on the side. Now, we want to lock this information into your memory. Yes, you, the person listening to this right now. The secret to building muscle memory in a new language is speaking out loud. We are going to do a quick action practice.
Do not worry if it feels a little silly.
I am going to be the restaurant waiter. I will ask you a question, just like in a real restaurant. I want you to answer out loud right now, wherever you are listening.
You can be in your car, in your bedroom, or walking outside. Just give a short, clear answer.
Are you ready? The waiter is looking at you right now. Listen to the question.
Would you like fries or salad?
Go ahead, say it.
Did you answer out loud? Did you say fries or salad? Speaking it out is making it yours. Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
That is the most important rule. Every time you open your mouth and speak out loud, your brain gets stronger. Let's try one more practice. Listen to the waiter's question carefully and answer out loud.
What drink would you like?
Just say the word.
Fantastic. You are having a real back and forth conversation in English. You answer the questions perfectly.
So what does all of this mean for you? It means the panic is completely gone.
You know how to ask for your meat cooked the right way, rare, medium, or well done.
You know the difference between a combo in America and a set meal in London.
And you know how to use your magic cheat codes to change your food.
You have all the tools you need for your next trip. But before we finish today, I want to leave you with a fun homework thought. You do not need to travel to practice this. Next time you eat at your favorite local restaurant in your own hometown, look down at your plate.
Yes, look closely at the food sitting right in front of you.
Think about how you would order that exact meal in English.
What is the main dish? What are the side dishes? Would you need to use a cheat code to ask for it without onions or sauce on the side?
Try to build the English sentence in your head while you enjoy your meal. It is a brilliant way to practice without any pressure. The world is your classroom.
It really is.
Well, we have reached the end of our show today. Thank you for learning with us and for practicing out loud. Keep learning English any way you want, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.